Imagine effortlessly climbing stairs, confidently walking for miles, and feeling that youthful spring in your step, even if you're over 50. What if the secret to revitalizing your leg strength wasn't about endless gym sessions or expensive supplements, but something simpler, more accessible, and faster acting found right in your kitchen? We've all felt it, that inexplicable slowness, the sudden weakness, or the fatigue that creeps into our legs, making everyday tasks feel like a monumental effort. This isn't a theory. It's a breakthrough backed by cutting-edge science. Imagine, within just 12 hours, you could begin to revitalize the very engines of your leg strength, all starting with a single, common food. Recent studies, like a startling finding published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2023, have demonstrated just how quickly this can happen. By the very next morning, measurable improvements in muscle protein synthesis and mitochondrial activity were observed in persons over the age of 50 who had ingested a particular type of nutrient-rich diet throughout the evening. These aren't just scientific terms. They are the fundamental biological processes responsible for every powerful step you take, every time you stand, every time you move with confidence. These are the engines that often show the first signs of wear and tear as we age. It's about more than just mobility and appearance. It's about something far more fundamental: your independence, your self-confidence, and your lasting capacity. When the strength in your legs disappears, everything shifts. Ascending stairs becomes a more difficult task, equilibrium is disrupted, and your energy level drops. On top of that, many individuals attribute it to the natural process of aging. However, here's the reality. The most important factor in the decrease of muscle mass is not age. Chronic undernourishment at the cellular level, low-grade inflammation, and circadian rhythms that are not aligned properly are the major reasons. This means it's not your age according to the calendar. Your biology is to blame, and your biology can be influenced. It is important to pay attention to what you consume, when you consume it, and how it interacts with your neurological system and muscles. Today, we're diving deep into the science, the neurobiology, and physiology to uncover a simple, accessible food that can dramatically boost your leg function. We'll reveal the food composition that supercharges neuromuscular repair overnight, how this diet restores mitochondrial efficiency, the energy producers in your muscles, the critical role of amino acid signaling, the precise timing for maximum impact influenced by your circadian clock, and a step-by-step protocol you can start immediately. This isn't a hoax. It's pure actionable science. Your body has an incredible capacity to recover far more quickly than you might imagine if you just give it the right tools. Let's jump right in. The neuromuscular disconnect and reconnection. For years, we thought muscle loss was purely about atrophy, muscles shrinking from disuse, or a decrease in hormone levels. But modern neuroscience is revealing a more optimistic truth. Your muscles might still be there structurally, but they're simply not getting the full signal. It's like a powerful engine that's not firing on all cylinders because of a faulty spark plug. The motor neurons that connect your brain and spinal cord to your muscles, particularly those in your legs, begin to degenerate or lose their efficacy as early as your 40s. Think of your brain as the command center and your leg muscles as the incredible machinery. Motor neurons are the high-speed data cables that transmit instructions. As early as our 40s, these cables can start fraying or losing their insulation, leading to a weaker, garbled signal. So, your brain wants to tell your leg to lift, but the message isn't getting through clearly or fully. Imagine trying to hear someone speak from a distance with a weak megaphone. You hear something, but not the full, clear command. That's what your muscles are experiencing. As a result of this disconnect, electrical signaling volume is decreased. The muscles do not receive the command to contract in its whole. They exist, but they are not doing anything. Adults who are experiencing a decline in their leg strength still have the structural potential for muscle activity, according to the findings of a groundbreaking study conducted by the University of Calgary. The issue was the transmission of neuromuscular signals. To put it another way, the muscle was not dead. Rather, it was just doing nothing. This is the most empowering part of the discovery. Your muscles aren't gone. They're merely offline or dormant. This means the potential for reactivation is absolutely there, waiting for the right stimulus. Have you ever felt a sudden wobble when standing up from a chair for no apparent reason? Or found yourself leaning on furniture more than you used to? Perhaps your legs become fatigued more quickly than they used to, even though you have not altered your routine. That's not just the natural process of aging. It's a breakdown in neuronal connectivity. These aren't just getting older moments. They are subtle signs of this very neuronal communication breakdown. And the good news is that there is a solution to fix it for you. An important part of this is played by the spinal cord. In addition to performing the function of a relay station for movement commands, it is dependent on continual nutrient-driven support in order to keep data integrity intact. The spinal cord isn't just a simple relay. It's a sophisticated switchboard that needs constant, high-quality power and maintenance. And that power comes from nutrients. Without it, the data integrity of those commands starts to degrade. Think of your leg muscles as a group of skilled workers, and your nervous system should be the foreman who is giving commands through a megaphone. The performance of the megaphone will suffer if the battery is running low. However, if you are able to recharge the battery, the crew will be able to resume their task soon. One of the quickest ways to accomplish this is to provide the neuromuscular junction, which is the point at which your nerves and muscles connect, with essential nutrients that restore the effectiveness of the signaling process. Think of the neuromuscular junction as the ultimate handshake between your nerve and your muscle. It's the tiny, yet incredibly powerful point where the electrical signal from your brain is translated into muscle action. And this handshake can be strengthened with targeted nutrition. It only takes a few hours for certain amino acids, B vitamins, and acetylcholine precursors to bring about a significant improvement in this link. Imagine, within just hours, specific nutrients can significantly improve this critical connection. And the star of our show, the food we're about to reveal, is packed with precisely these elements. You will find that this food is not only rich in protein, but it also has the particular nutrients that your nervous system needs in order to regenerate communication. This means that if you consume this food, you are not only nourishing your muscles, but you are also reactivating them. To put this into practice, before you start worrying about gaining more muscle, you should first determine whether or not your neural system is truly making use of the muscle that you already possess. When it comes to leg weakness, signal quality is frequently more important than muscle quantity. This food doesn't just feed your muscles, it wakes them up. It's about optimizing what you already have. Before chasing more muscle, let's ensure your brain is properly communicating with the muscle you've worked hard to build. For leg weakness, the quality of the signal often trumps the sheer quantity of muscle. Leucine, the molecular on-off switch. Now, let's zoom in on a truly remarkable player in this process. The amino acid leucine. If your muscles had an on switch for growth and repair, leucine would be the finger that flips it. Leucine is what we call an essential amino acid. This indicates that your body is unable to produce it. Therefore, you must obtain it from the consumption of food. But its significance extends far beyond the realm of basic nourishment. In the scientific community, leucine is referred to as an anabolic trigger. It communicates to your cells that it is time for them to expand. It's literally the command that tells your muscle cells time to grow, time to repair. One of the cellular pathways that is directly activated by leucine is called mTOR, which is an abbreviation for mammalian target of rapamycin. The synthesis of muscle protein is regulated by this route, which functions as a control tower. Visualize mTOR as the master control panel inside your muscle cells. It dictates whether your body builds muscle, maintains it, or breaks it down. Leucine, when it enters your system, is like a precision key that unlocks and activates this mTOR pathway, giving the go signal for muscle protein synthesis, the creation of new muscle tissue, even in older adults. Research has revealed that a single meal that was high in leucine could greatly enhance mTOR activity and stimulate muscle protein synthesis. This was demonstrated in a study published in the Journal of Nutrition in 2011. In light of the fact that our muscles become more resistant to anabolic signals as we get older, this is really important. As we age, our muscles can become anabolically resistant. This means they're less responsive to the protein we consume, making it harder to stimulate growth and repair. However, leucine has the ability to combat this resistance. It is one of the few nutrients that has been demonstrated to have this effect within a few hours. Despite eating a meal that was heavy in protein, have you ever experienced feelings of fatigue or weakness in your legs? The problem might not be the amount of protein, but rather the quality of the leucine and the timing of its consumption. You might be eating what you think is enough protein, but if it's not rich in high-quality leucine, or if you're eating it at the wrong time, your body might only be preventing muscle breakdown, not actively building and strengthening. It's like having the bricks for a wall, but not the mortar to put them together. Because of this, the time of your protein consumption and the source of your protein are important considerations. It is a straightforward instrument to use. Make sure that the first major meal of the day is centered around a food source that is high in leucine. Why the first meal? Because after an overnight fast, your body is primed and ready to receive signals. Giving it a powerful leucine surge first thing in the morning sets the stage for muscle repair and growth throughout the day. Some of the foods that have the highest levels of leucine are animal proteins such as eggs, cattle, poultry, and especially whey protein. For example, 3 to 4 whole eggs, a serving of Greek yogurt, or about 3-4 ounces of lean meat like chicken breast or beef can easily get you to that 2 on 3 gram leucine threshold. These aren't massive amounts, but they are precise. To activate the mTOR pathway and initiate muscle repair, it is sufficient to consume a mere 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, which may be obtained by consuming approximately 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. However, if you are looking for a more expedient method, Whey protein isolate is one of the most effective ways to accomplish this. Leucine and the other essential amino acids are present in the optimal proportions in this product. When it comes to fast restoring muscular function, this is the reason why athletes and clinicians who care with older citizens are increasingly turning to it. Whey protein isolate is particularly powerful because it's a concentrated source of leucine delivered quickly to your muscles. This is why you see it used by elite athletes for rapid recovery, and why its benefits are increasingly recognized for older adults seeking to maintain and restore functional strength. However, this is not only about recovering, it is also about reconnecting. There is more going on in your brain and muscles than just growth. After you consume protein that is rich in leucine, communication is the issue. A biochemical dialogue between your nervous system and your muscle fibers is being restored as a result of your active participation. Furthermore, the quicker that discussion picks up again, the quicker that your legs begin to feel stable, strong, and alive once more. It's not just about muscle mass, it's about reestablishing that vital communication. Think of it as opening up a clear two-way street for signals between your brain and your legs. The clearer and faster that dialogue, the quicker your legs respond, the more stable you feel, and the more alive you become. If this new perspective is already shifting how you see your body, hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about transforming science into actionable power for your life. Acetylcholine, the muscle command messenger. From the on switch of leucine, we now move to the critical chemical messenger that actually executes the command from your brain to your muscles, acetylcholine. If you found these ideas to be helpful, consider giving the video a like. This not only helps us offer science-backed strength tools to more individuals who are in need of them, but it also ensures that the algorithm knows that this information is important. A signal is sent from your brain whenever you make a decision to move, whether it is to stand, to take a step, or to get up from a chair. However, that signal does not communicate directly with your muscles. In the beginning, it is converted into acetylcholine, which is a chemical messenger protein. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter that is thought to be responsible for neuromuscular transmission. This is the specific method by which a signal in your brain is translated into action in your muscles. Imagine your brain sends an email command to your legs. Acetylcholine is the internet connection that translates that email into action. Without sufficient amounts of it, the internet is slow, glitchy, or completely down. Your muscles might get a partial message, leading to misfires, slow responses, or no response at all. With each passing year, the significance of this fact grows. The production of acetylcholine and the sensitivity of its receptors both gradually decrease over time, according to studies, particularly in the motor neurons that are related to the legs. This decline isn't just about general aging. It's particularly pronounced in the motor neurons controlling our legs. This is one of the reasons why even little lapses in balance or delayed muscular reaction become increasingly common in people who are approaching their senior years. The science, however, begins to get interesting at this point. It has been demonstrated through research that choline, which is the precursor to acetylcholine, has the ability to quickly restore this signaling capacity. It was emphasized in a review published in Nutrients in 2012 that increasing the amount of choline in one's diet can improve acetylcholine production in less than 6 to 12 hours, particularly when the brain is actively demanding motor coordination. Here's the incredible part. Research shows that simply providing the raw material for acetylcholine, a nutrient called choline, can rapidly restore this signaling. We're talking 6 to 12 hours. Imagine going to bed with sluggish legs and waking up feeling a noticeable difference in responsiveness. What kind of food provides you this advantage? It's eggs. To be more specific, the yolks are the natural source of choline that is the most abundant. The consumption of just 2 whole eggs can provide more than 300 milligauss of choline, which is then transformed into acetylcholine and contributes to the restoration of the motor control pathway. This isn't merely a well-known truth about nutrition, it is a protocol that works. If you are someone who experiences tremors, instability, or decreased power when walking or standing, or if you have discovered that your legs are slow to respond, you should give this straightforward morning routine a try. Consume 2 whole eggs approximately 30 minutes after waking up, preferably in conjunction with a protein that is high in leucine, such as whey or cottage cheese. This isn't just a nutritional fact, it's a proven protocol. Why morning? Because acetylcholine synthesis tends to be naturally low after sleep. Motor neurons are more receptive to nutritional input in the morning when acetylcholine synthesis is generally at its lowest. At the precise moment when it is most in need of it, you are providing your body with the raw material it requires to reestablish neuromuscular command. You're essentially hitting the reset button on your neuromuscular command pathway when it's most craving support. After eating a breakfast that is high in protein, have you ever noticed how much more confident you feel when using your steps? This is not a placebo at all. This is the result of your central nervous system firing with a greater degree of accuracy. That feeling of increased confidence navigating stairs or uneven ground after a solid protein breakfast, that's not just in your head. It's your central nervous system firing with greater precision, thanks to that boosted acetylcholine. There is more to choline than just supporting muscle. The communication channel between your brain and your legs is being upgraded as a result of this. Do not be concerned if you are plant-based or if you do not consume eggs. For additional sources of choline, quinoa, Brussels sprouts, and soybeans are also good options. While egg yolks are the gold standard due to their high bioavailability, meaning your body absorbs and utilizes the choline most efficiently, excellent alternative sources include quinoa, Brussels sprouts, and soybeans. Just be mindful that you might need slightly larger portions to get a similar choline dose. One further thing to note is that acetylcholine is not only responsible for activating muscles. However, it also plays a significant role in learning, memory, and concentration. Consequently, when you restore the levels of acetylcholine in your brain, you are enhancing both your physical control and your cognitive clarity, which is a double win for aging positively. This is a fantastic bonus. Nitric oxide and blood flow. Now, let's turn our attention to the unsung hero of leg strength, optimal blood flow. Without adequate circulation, even the best muscles can't perform. And we're going to talk about a food so powerful, it's being researched for serious conditions like vascular dementia and performance weariness. If you're dedicated to restoring your strength and clarity, please click the subscribe button. Even though we are only getting started, each segment builds on the previous one by providing you with tools that are designed to operate in your everyday life, beginning right now. Just picture yourself attempting to cultivate a garden while the hose that supplies water is kinked. It makes no difference how fertile the soil is or how much sunlight you give the plants. They will not flourish. Think of your muscles as a thriving garden. No matter how much fertilizer, protein you add, or how much sunlight, exercise you give, if the water hose is kinked, if blood flow is restricted, that garden will wilt. On the interior of your muscles, particularly in your legs, this is exactly what takes place as we get older. The arteries and capillaries that supply our lower limbs frequently get more constricted and less responsive. This occurs not only when blood flow becomes restricted or inefficient, but also for other reasons. This hinders the delivery of oxygen, the transportation of nutrients, and the removal of waste, which are three essential components of muscular function and recovery. What is the end result? Leg pain that is characterized by a heavy, fatigued, or delayed response. Even if you consume a suitable amount of protein and engage in physical activity, poor circulation can subtly undermine your strength. Enter nitric oxide, also known as NO. This is the primary molecule that controls the dilation of blood vessels in your endothelial cells, which are the cells that line your blood arteries. There is a gas that is created naturally. This gas communicates with your blood vessels, telling them when to widen and enable more blood to flow through them. Think of NO as the open sesame signal for your blood vessels, telling them to relax and widen, allowing a gush of oxygen-rich, nutrient-dense blood to flood your muscles. And one of nature's most powerful NO boosters? Beets. Yes, the vibrant red vegetable. It is amazing to learn that the creation of nitric oxide is strongly reliant on the foods that you consume. Beets, particularly when consumed raw or in juice form, are a source of dietary nitrates, which are converted into nitric oxide by your body. According to the findings of a study conducted in Neuroscience and published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, older persons who ingested beetroot juice had a considerable boost in leg muscular power within just a few hours of consumption. This gain was particularly noticeable in fast-twitch fibers, which are critical for maintaining balance and preventing falls. There is no such thing as a marginal gain. In real-world movement testing, walking speed tests, chair stand tests, and even stair climbing, the benefits were significant enough to be measurable. This wasn't a subtle shift. It was a measurable improvement. Here is a straightforward instrument that you can make use of. Approximately 90 minutes before engaging in any kind of physical exercise, consume 1 to 2 medium-sized beets, or drink 200 to 300 milliliters of beetroot juice. This gives the nitrates the opportunity to transition into nitric oxide and start the process of increasing vasodilation. Want to take it to the next level? This should be combined with 20 minutes of light action, such as going for a stroll, light cycling, or dynamic stretching. Movement itself is a powerful stimulant of nitric oxide generation, particularly in situations where your body is already saturated with dietary nitrates. To supercharge this effect, combine your beet intake with light activity. You are effectively ramping up the pressure and priming the hose at the same time. The glycemic load of beets is relatively modest, and the performance benefit much overcomes any spike that may occur when they are ingested before activity. Some people express concern about the sugar content in beets. Rest assured, the glycemic load is relatively modest, and the performance benefits far outweigh any minor sugar spike, especially when consumed before activity. However, if you are concerned, you might also try a source of protein or some greens that are high in fiber to help you cope with this. When you discover that this knowledge is helpful to you, you should think about subscribing. Rather than trying to overwhelm you, we go deeply into evidence-based techniques, such as this one, in order to equip you. Every video is intended to convey scientific information. You can start using it right now to experience a sense of increased strength, sharpness, and control over your body. In the following part, we will discuss inflammation, which is one of the most misunderstood aspects of muscle loss, as well as how a single food category can put out the persistent low-grade fire that is reducing your leg strength from the inside out. Inflammation, the silent muscle thief. Even while you might not be able to feel it, it is present like a low and consistent hum in the background. Persistent inflammation is what I'm referring to here. Chronic inflammation is not the same as acute inflammation, which is evident and happens after an injury. Chronic inflammation is subtle and systemic, and it gradually declines muscle function over time, particularly in the legs. Imagine a tiny smoldering fire burning silently within your body, slowly eroding your strength from the inside out. You might not feel it like a sharp pain, but its effects are profound. This is chronic, low-grade inflammation, and it's a stealthy thief of leg strength. The findings of the research are as follows. It is possible for even low levels of chronic inflammation to cause a reduction in the capacity of muscles to regenerate, gain strength, and improve coordination. A study conducted in Tui and published in the Journals of Gerontology discovered that increased levels of inflammatory markers, specifically C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, were strongly associated with decreased muscle mass and strength in older adults. This was the case even when the participants' levels of physical activity and nutrition appeared to be adequate. So, what is going on inside of your body when this takes place? Inflammation impairs the function of mitochondria, which are the very engines that fuel your muscle contractions, by interfering with the process of muscle protein synthesis, increasing oxidative stress, and disrupting mitochondrial function. In addition to this, it hinders the capacity of your neurological system to effectively recruit muscle fibers, which means that even if the muscle is present, the signal that is supposed to activate it becomes less powerful. When inflammation rages, it throws a wrench into your cellular machinery. It damages mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses of your muscle cells, making them less efficient at producing energy. At this point, we come to the surprise portion. It is not in the supplement section that we find one of the most effective tools that we have at our disposal for putting out this ongoing fire. In your produce drawer is where you will find it. Dark leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, chard, and mustard greens are some examples of greens. In addition to being rich in nutrients, these are also tremendously effective in reducing inflammation. They contain high concentrations of polyphenols, chlorophyll, magnesium, and nitrate components, all of which are known to support the capacity of your body to downregulate inflammatory pathways. More specifically, it has been demonstrated that the polyphenol quercetin, which may be found in mustard greens and kale, has the ability to directly block inflammatory cytokines such as IL-6 and TNF-alpha. According to a study published in Frontiers in Pharmacology in 2019, it was shown that consuming foods that are rich in quercetin on a daily basis can lower inflammation markers within 2 to 4 weeks, particularly when accompanied with moderate exercise. Incorporating at least 1 cup of dark leafy greens into your first meal of the day is a straightforward regimen that is supported by abundant scientific evidence. Why is this the first meal? Mainly due to the fact that it assists in establishing the foundation for the regulation of inflammation throughout your circadian rhythm, which is the internal clock that controls the immunological and hormonal responses. If you want to improve your body's ability to absorb fat-soluble antioxidants like vitamin K and beta-carotene, try combining them with a source of healthy fat like olive oil or avocado. Additionally, you could try adding a squeeze of lemon or apple cider vinegar to improve digestion and the amount of nutrients that you take in. Now, it is important to point out that these foods do not have the same effect as painkillers. You will not feel the benefit immediately. However, there is a possibility that you will have less discomfort, faster recuperation, more stable energy, and a rejuvenated feeling of power in your legs over the course of time, which may take as little as 10 to 14 days. These foods aren't painkillers. You won't feel instant relief. This is at this point that nutrition transforms from being a source of fuel into a signal that regulates the body. It lets your immune system know that we are safe and that you can turn off the power. Nutritional timing, the circadian advantage. In the following section, we will discuss something that the majority of people completely ignore: the way in which the time of your meals can either speed up or slow down the restorative process of your muscles and leg strength, particularly as you get older. The food you consume is simply one aspect of the equation when it comes to restoring strength in your legs. The timing of your meals may be just as significant, particularly as we become older. It is important to understand that whenever you take a meal that contains protein, you set off a process that is referred to as muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. It is through this biological process that your body is able to heal damaged muscle tissue and develop new muscle tissue. To put it simply, your body is essentially saying, "Let's grow." The difficulty, however, is that as we become older, the strength of that signal decreases because of a process known as anabolic resistance, which occurs when your muscles become less receptive to the protein that you consume in your diet. This is the case. It is possible that your body will not be able to fully utilize the protein that you consume in order to repair muscle, even if you consume an adequate amount of protein overall. Now, what is the solution? The findings of the research are as follows. The preservation and growth of muscle, particularly in the legs and lower body, can be considerably improved by distributing protein-rich meals equally throughout the day, beginning with breakfast. According to the findings of a study conducted by the University of Texas in 2024, those who had nearly equivalent amounts of protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner had muscle protein synthesis rates that were 25% greater than those individuals who took the majority of their protein at supper. Why? As a result of the fact that each meal served as a distinct stimulus for muscle growth, the signal remained strong consistently throughout the day. Additionally, eating within 30 to 60 minutes of light exercise or walking can improve this effect, particularly in older persons. This is especially true for those who have been exercising. When your muscle cells are at their most receptive to nutrition and are able to rapidly take in amino acids for the purpose of rebuilding tissue, this period of time is referred to as the anabolic window. This is a straightforward and applicable protocol. First things first. Be sure that your first meal of the day has at least 30 grams of high-quality protein. A cup of Greek yogurt topped with hemp seeds and berries, 3 eggs topped with sautéed spinach and lentils, or a substantial plant-based protein smoothie may be an example of what that might look like. After completing any kind of physical activity, Whether it be a stroll, a stretch session, or some mild resistance training, the second step is to consume a meal or snack that contains both protein and complex carbohydrates within an hour. Some examples of these are a smoothie made with protein powder and banana, as well as a plate consisting of quinoa, beans, and olive oil. Carbohydrates stimulate insulin, a hormone that works to improve nutritional intake, which in turn helps to improve the efficiency with which amino acids are transported into your muscle cells. Step 3. When you are eating dinner, avoid stacking proteins. The research indicates that your muscles are only capable of producing a certain amount of protein at one time, which is typically between 30 and 40 grams. This is despite the fact that it is tempting to store the largest meal for tonight. Subsequently, the remaining material is either stored or oxidized for energy. When you optimize the timing and distribution of your meals, you are not only providing your muscles with nourishment, but you are also talking with them. Your body is receiving the message that it should continue to be strong, active, and alive. That, in fact, is the most important point to make here. Muscle is not only responsible for movement, it is also an organ that regulates metabolism and safeguards your vitality. We will bring all of this together in our conclusion, from the important role that nitric oxide plays to the power of nutritional timing, and provide you with a concise and empowering summary, along with one simple step that you can take right now to alter your leg strength, your energy, and your overall health. To have reached this point indicates that you have already accomplished the most significant stage, which is to acquire knowledge. It is now clear to you that regaining leg strength, even in a span of just 12 hours, is not an impossible feat. Physiologically speaking, this is a fact when you have the knowledge to effectively collaborate with the natural mechanisms of your body rather than working against them. Let's quickly review the key scientifically supported concepts that we've discussed. Reactivating disconnected muscles. Your muscles aren't lost, just disconnected. Specific nutrients like leucine and choline can rapidly reestablish that crucial brain-to-muscle communication. Fueling with the blood flow. Optimal circulation, driven by nitric oxide boosters like beets, is vital for delivering oxygen and nutrients, preventing that heavy, fatigued feeling. The endothelium, the inner lining of your blood arteries, is an important component in the process of oxygenation of your muscles. Foods that are abundant in nitrates, polyphenols, and antioxidants have the ability to literally reboot this system. Extinguishing internal fire. Chronic inflammation quietly undermines your strength. Daily dark leafy greens are your secret weapon to turn off this silent muscle thief. Strategic nutritional timing. When you eat matters. Distributing protein evenly and fueling strategically after activity can overcome anabolic resistance and keep your muscle-building machinery humming. The gut-muscle connection. The food you consume not only influences digestion, but also programs the way in which your brain and muscles communicate with one another. The impact that beetroot has on the microorganisms that live in the gut is a significant factor in this. Adaptation and regeneration. Your body is designed to adapt, and it has a desire to regenerate itself. The difficulty lies in providing it with the appropriate inputs at the appropriate times and in the appropriate amounts. The following step for you is as follows. Simple, unambiguous, and highly efficient. Beginning tomorrow morning, you should begin your day with a smoothie that contains beetroot powder or a small amount of raw beet. You should also include a source of protein such as Greek yogurt or a vegan substitute. Soon after drinking it, you should go for a walk for 15 minutes. Because of this, your blood vessels are primed, the release of nitric oxide is triggered, and muscle signaling is also initiated. Then, within 30 to 60 minutes, consume a breakfast that is high in protein. The science is clear. Even small interventions, such as a single nutrient, a short walk, or a meal that is well-timed, can produce fast, measurable changes in how your body performs and how you feel, particularly in your legs, which are not only your foundation for movement, but also a mirror of your metabolic health and vitality. This phenomenon is not limited to leg strength. Rather, it is about momentum. As you continue to use these techniques on a daily basis, you will begin to become aware of something that is subtle but significant. The fact that your legs feel stronger is not the only thing that you experience. You also feel more capable, more invigorated, more steady, and more like yourself. Now, give this particular regimen a shot and see what happens. If you found that this video helped you see your body and your potential in a different way, I would be grateful if you would like it, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. This group is intended to assist you in not only surviving, but genuinely thriving by providing you with evidence-based tools that are beneficial to your mind, your body, and your life. Thank you for watching.